If you're highly capable and still feel like you have to prove yourself in every room, the problem isn't you. It's the leadership model you've been taught to follow. And that model quietly keeps you in performance mode long after you've already earned your seat. I'm Dr. Denée Choice. I work with high-achieving women leading in high-stakes, male-dominated leadership hierarchies. Women who are already operating at an executive level, but still feel like they have to justify their presence. I help them stop proving and start leading like they belong. Today, I want to unpack the leadership lie you've been sold, why borrowed authority quietly drains you, and what leadership actually looks like when you strip away the performance. If this resonates, I have a free masterclass on how women leaders rise, 3 executive shifts to influence, impact, and visibility. It builds on what we're starting here, and I'll link it below. Let's start with the leadership lie you've been told. Here's what I see all the time. Brilliant women trying to earn authority. You over-prepare, anticipate every angle, make sure your logic is airtight, and manage perception so no one can question your competence. Underneath all of that is this belief that once you've done enough, you'll finally stop feeling like you still have something to prove. But that moment never quite comes. You handle the difficult conversations, lead the team, move the strategy forward, and afterwards you feel relieved, but not powerful. Relief and power are not the same thing. That's the lie, the authority myth, the idea that authority is granted, that leadership is earned through output, and if it feels effortful and slightly performative, that's just the cost of being successful. But it's not. What's actually happening is you're staying in proving mode, and proving mode is costly, energetically and strategically. Most leadership advice for women sounds practical. Be assertive, take up space, speak with confidence, command the room. And none of that is inherently wrong, but traditional leadership advice focuses on optics. It doesn't build authority. If you're leading from someone else's template, you're borrowing authority. You're adjusting constantly, hyper aware of how you're landing, reading subtle cues instead of anchoring into what you already know. Borrowed authority may look polished, but it always feels slightly unstable. So you leave high-stakes meetings a little drained. You replay what you said, you second-guess decisions you were actually clear on. Borrowed authority might keep you in the game. It might even get you promoted to a point, but it won't make you powerful, and that distinction matters. I want you to take a moment and reflect back on your last high-stakes conversation. Afterward, how did you feel? Did you feel energized or relieved? Just notice that. So let's talk about what leadership actually is. Leadership isn't granted. It's not about being chosen. It's not your title, position, or role. It's about your internal architecture. Real authority is built from the inside. Every woman I work with has a leadership advantage, a specific way she creates value that feels natural to her but impactful to everyone else. But because it doesn't always match the dominant leadership template, she undervalues it. So she layers competence on top instead of leading from her own zone of genius. When you lead from your zone, something in you shifts. You stop over-explaining, you stop performing, you operate from knowing. Leadership feels deliberate, grounded, and strategic. You don't need to be flashy. You don't need to harden yourself. You don't need to copy the dominant style in the room. You need to build authority that doesn't waver under pressure. Traditional leadership advice focuses on how you act on the outside rather than focusing on how you're built. It teaches you how to sound confident, but not how to hold your center when the stakes rise. It teaches you how to manage perception, but not how to access authority that remains steady under pressure. When you stop outsourcing your authority and start building it internally, leadership becomes lighter, more sustainable, more strategic, and more visible. And it becomes powerful without being exhausting. If you recognize yourself in this, if you're already operating at a high level but still approaching leadership like you need permission, then the next step isn't more effort, it's a shift. In How Women Leaders Rise, I walk you through the 3 executive shifts that move you from borrowed authority to grounded influence. The link is below. In the next video, I'll break down why most traditional leadership advice quietly keeps high-achieving women stuck in proving mode and what to do instead. Because the goal isn't to master their model, it's to build your own.